We are Snow Horse
And the polar bear.
and the Polar Bear.
Mhm.
And she's got some guests today over there. We are on camera, so this adds to the little antics we've got going on here. Just as a refresher, I was going to call you the Snow Bear. Darn it. The Polar Bear and I have rekindled our friendship after 7 years. I'm so excited that she's back in my life. And you're going to see that unfold, and there might be some testiness going on here, and we'll purge through it so you can see how that happens. And I can't even wait to have witnesses to me remaining calm through it. And the other is, I've been privy to a lot of things, miracles and such. I'm a big believer in God, and so is the Polar Bear. So if you hang in there, people have sought me out for lessons and reality TV shows and some other things like that. But what I'm trying to do and get across is if you listen real closely to some of these things, you'll get some teaching for free, maybe some information you can apply to your life to get what I get without having to set appointments and get charged for it. Because really, there's no amount of money that can pay for the messages that come. So what happens is that it was my sister, you can blame her. She's the one that said, you can charge for the time it takes to tell them. So I set some sort of parameters as to what my time is worth, keeping it feasible for people to get information. But the podcast is so that you don't have to pay, if you listen closely. So one of the things I want to start off with is the fact that the Polar Bear went gallivanting without me.
Yes, I did.
She took a hike.
These are polar bears everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. You never know where I'll be.
Yeah, we were supposed to take a trip, and no, she went tripping on her own.
That's right.
So you want to share a little bit about that, Polar Bear?
Oh, it was wonderful. And I'd like to thank all the angels that helped me along my way to get me where I needed to
my
be
gosh.
from point A to point B.
I witnessed some of the pictures.
Back from point B to point A again. And it's miraculous. And I just give a shout out to the first responders out there.
Well, that makes it look like you were in a bit of hell.
Well, I got dropped off in a restricted area, but
who dropped you off? It wasn't an angel, was it?
No, that wasn't an angel. That was a guy on a flatbed cart.
Somebody working for the other guy.
I guess so, because he's like, go to door, what was it? Gate 3, door 2, gate 3, door 2, or level 3. No, I'm sorry, level 3, door 2, level 3, door 2. And I'm like, are you sure? And I could hardly understand him. And he had a very thick accent. And I was like, he said, so we're doing hand signals. Level 3, door 2, exit 2. Level 3, exit
like
2. Yeah.
Planes.
Yeah. Level 3, it just kept doing 3, 2, 3, 2. So I go up and I go behind, go up these stairs. And all of a sudden I'm in a restricted area. I didn't know it was a restricted area until Officer Eric helped me. He's like, what are you doing up here? This is a restricted area. And I'm like, well, this is where the gentleman that dropped me off said to go. And so there I was. And he was talking to me as he ushered me to an elevator to get me back down to well, he took me to the level that they used, the people there. The officers used to go in and out. So I didn't have to go back down to level 1. I went to level 2.
Right. So you were running around like a little mouse late trying to get on a plane.
Well, that was before. That was after I got off.
I want to back this up. So on another podcast, I referred to, I like to give visuals really on what's going on down here on Earth. And I often teach that there are 2 teams down here. Picture it kind of, if you would, like a football game, if for lack of a better description. And all of us, every last person on the planet, the ones you think are good and the ones you think are bad, are born on the winning team. And in order for the losing team to try to win, they try to recruit the best of the best. And so in order for them to do that, they come after people who they know are going to be successful and try to lure them astray to their team so they can be successful in some way. But what happens is as they drag the good guys down, the prisons are filled with angels that listen to the wrong voice. So the guy that was, delivering the polar bear to the wrong spot.
Definitely.
There's a good, well, he could have been listening to the wrong voice, delivering the wrong information to one of the known angels, so she would be late to wherever she goes. The great news is that the polar bear knows that when she is so-called led astray by, trusting the people within, say, the airport that supposedly know what they were doing, that it puts her in a position to have an experience or to teach or to lead or to offer something she's got to offer. So on the winning team, which I call God's team, we are put in a place, even if it feels wrong, to witness something, do something, learn something, promote something for the winning team. That we are always in the right spot. So upset that you're not getting somewhere on time is a good chance that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And the phrasing is this: is that God turns things around. And the key part of that sentence that most people don't talk about, it says, for those who love him. God turns things around for those that love him. And the polar bear's life is, I don't know, what is that?
I don't know.
We got some stuff going on in the background here, and I don't know how to stop it.
Must be a news alert or something. I don't
No,
know.
it's the planning commission and things of that nature in the
Well, we get to
background.
join their meeting. I wonder if we're joining theirs.
I don't know.
They're probably wondering who are these two ladies in their screen.
So,
So, anyways,
well, I need to stop that. So let's figure this out a second.
okay. I can't help but think it'd be funny if we were in there and they're like, who are these two? I don't think they see us. Oh, ow, ow. So watch the planning committee. I guess. I'm not sure what's happening. I just hope we're not in their Zoom meeting.
So do I
You're gonna have to start from the top because when you're using one number for your file, so when you start recording, it replaces your previous one.
Okay, so wait 1 second. So let me just refresh my memory here. I know you just did it, but
No, so you don't have to go through all those steps again. All you got to do is hit record again. So
over here too.
is that one still
I d- I-
recording?
this-
Just let that one continue to record.
You're going to be
So
able to
hit
figure that out.
record here, and then when I step out, just hit play and start from the top.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's
No, no, it's
I thought it was kind of funny.
kind of gave me a breather. Thank you.
I joined the planning committee. Trying to put my glasses on to see if I knew anybody.
Back here, it's a recording, so they're just looking at me do some stupid shit.
Well, it is what it is. If it's there, it's meant to be.
Okay.
Like you're talking about.
What am I doing here?
But you were very right about what you were talking about with being in the
Well,
right
I
place.
haven't
Oh,
pressed record yet.
okay.
So we're gonna start over, I guess.
Okay.
Well, all righty. We are recording. We
We're
are
back.
Snow Horse and the Polar Bear.
Polar bear.
And we just had an interruption here, which is interesting because what we were talking about, it was how Satan lures people astray or interrupts what's happening.
It was terrifying.
It just transpired. So let me back up a little bit. We are Snow Horse and the Polar Bear. We are brand new at this. This is our fourth podcast. We do have cameras going on, so you can catch some of the antics. What's happening here is that we are rekindling our friendship after 7 years. There's going to be some ebbing and flowing because we've changed in 7 years, and I can't wait to see how I purge through things without when you got a camera on you, sometimes you behave a little better. Woo. And so the
Good thing I can't see it.
oh no, you don't know. You're looking right at it, girl. And
Mhm.
so
Oh, you look great.
oh, thank you. You look fabulous. So
Thank
let's
you.
go into that in a second because Satan was having his way with you.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Oh, but an angel of God came and brought my angel back. So so the friendship thing is happening. Learning this equipment and such is brand new. I did take classes last year. I'll go into that in a little bit. But what I want to say here is that the podcast is going to bring about some free training for anybody that's paying attention and listening. Rather than setting appointments with me, I've mentioned that I've been sought out for a reality TV show of my own. I witness miracles. I believe in God. I'm not trying to put religion into anybody, and if I were, I'm going to quote what God told me, and then I saw it written within the scripture of the Bible, not any other book, but one sentence only, and it says, "The one true religion is this: to take care of the widows and the orphans."
Mm.
Interesting because, I mean, Jesus himself was, an adopted child, technically. I mean, he was
Mm.
born of a spirit, if you will, God himself. That's an interesting subject, but we're not going there right now. And all I can give you is my perspective based on what God has told me. I have no official training or studying. I would love to say that I read the book called the Bible, but I have not. What I have done is been able to hear the Word of God instruct me through my pissed offdom is what I call it.
So,
The nation
okay.
of pissed offdom. But the one thing is that so that being said, this is about getting free information. We're going to touch on subjects and some testimonies and how they played out. And if you follow closely, there's nothing that you can't do that I have done. The results that I get, the I mean, I just knew this stuff and played it out. Some people are naturals at certain things, and so God has spoken to me. Then when I talk with people, they say, "Oh, that's scriptural," or "This is where this is at," or this phrase, and I'll be able to go when they say, and I take a look, and there it is, almost verbatim. You know, the Jesus saying to his disciples, "These and greater things shall ye do." In every reading or counseling or anything I've done, I have sat before people, including the polar bear, and said, "You can do this too, and greater, perhaps. I mean, even better. What's better than to find someone who can do what you do and better than that? I mean, the world needs people that know what they're doing and willing to share." And so back, because we were interrupted on the very subject of being interrupted. Yeah.
I just wondered if they could see us and we could see them,
Oh,
but they didn't
we
act
could.
like it.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
they
no.
didn't
No,
look.
that was being recorded.
Okay.
And so anyway, I was talking about how I don't know that I'm following in a stream of thought here, but I hope you catch up and get in there with us. Is that, and I will let the polar bear talk because it was her experience that got interrupted
Yeah, it was.
about her being interrupted.
That's
So
true.
I say and have said there are two teams down here on Earth,
Yeah.
much like a football team, football game, if you will. And let's say there are only two teams. There is the winning team and the losing team. Everyone on the planet that is born with a breath is born of God. Every last one. You can think of the worst and know that they were born on the winning team. And then people get lured astray by the losers because the losers want to recruit the best. I want you to contemplate that the people, look at this, I feel like I'm Italian. If you look on the camera, my arms are waving. I get very passionate. So,
But your seat's in an
plane,
upright back
the
position.
plane is taking off. So
Great
so
table.
the losers, they take their powerful hitters that want to create a winning team to compete and take over and be the better one, the one that gets all the rings at the end of the game.
Right.
I can guarantee you the ones that stay on the winning team that they were born on, doing good things and purging out the negative and staying away from the things that cause disruptive days for anyone. That it happens throughout every day for me. And I have to get back on track. And I say cancel, cancel. The first cancel says, "Oh my gosh, I've just said something that the losing team would, you know,
Oh,
is
very
is
good. Yeah.
trying to get me off the winning team and work for them." And the second cancel says, "I don't want that." She's over there nursing the
Well,
microphone
I'm
over there.
trying to get it. I can't hear myself. Can you hear me?
Well, yes,
Oh,
you're doing good.
okay.
Okay, so that being said, I asked if you watch the people throughout your life, throughout your day, and your own self and your own actions, you're going to know who you're working for. If you are making a day bad for another person, you are being recruited.
That's so true.
It also means that that's how powerful you are, that they want you on the losing team to take you down. Because even if you work for God and you know you work for God and you love God and you're tempted to do or feel bad about yourself, let's say you don't realize that you have been forgiven. This is the mastery of accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior. I can't wrap my mind around the whole thing, but I knew the gist of it. I know it works. And that's all I need to know. Kind of like walking over to the wall and flipping a switch and the electricity comes on.
Exactly.
I did not ever ask how they do that. I didn't go into the wall and go into the switch and go to the light box and study energy in order to give a fat rat's banana on why that thing turned on. I was just glad it did. So you can flip the switch at any time. Let the light shine. And if you're going to turn the light off, be aware that you've done it and that you can turn it back on. The good news is, well, good and bad, I suppose, is that when you walk away, when you are lured astray, when you're choosing to do something you know is wrong or feel is wrong or should be done differently, at least be aware you're doing it, choose to get back on track, apologize to the winning coach and creator, and move on. He's not holding any grudges. That's the mastery of it. But he has to let you go if you walk away. I have been like that through my whole life. I have never been upset when someone leaves my life. I didn't love people enough to care that they left. I mean, the more people leave my space, the more space I have to myself to do and think and go about what I love. So I'm in a perfect position to do some of the things God has got me doing because it doesn't matter if I have a following. I don't follow what I do of my own because, frankly, I'm busy being me rather than trying to follow me and see what's going on out there. So as you're being recruited, just know that you're being recruited. The people, I've said this before, that prisons are filled with angels. The leaders that are in countries wanting to conquer things and doing, I'm going to use the word god-awful things,
Right.
to get their space. They need to know and be aware that they're doing it. It's each and every day, every minute of the day, we can get back on track. And God is always going to welcome us back. And again, that's the mastery of it. If you walk away, he has to let you go. And people are saying, why isn't God fixing all this?
Right.
People prayed enough that when God gave the world to the people and he could do nothing because he handed it over, and they kept on bitching, you need to do something, this is your world, you created this, how come you're not fixing this? These people are squabbling, these people are dying, what are you doing up there? I said it my own self. And then it turns out, I was angry. I said in another podcast, I was angry with God. I said, who are you as a father to send your boy to do your job? Well, he answered that one pretty quick. I mean, people have power down here. God had to come in the flesh in order to have some power down here. He figured out how to do it. He did it. He came, he conquered, he left, and he invited everybody to get on board. So if you don't get on board, that's your business. I'm not telling you can't do anything. I'm not telling anybody they have to follow me and what I'm saying to be the truth. But I get miracles. I ask you, do you? The polar bear gets miracles.
Yeah,
She went on it. We're going to get to this journey that she took. She left me. We've got a little ditty at the end here. I want to say because I think it's here. I'm reaching out there and there's a COVID thing stopping us from touching one another. So the thing is that the polar bear and I went on a journey a week or so ago, and then she went gallivanting her own darn self just a few days ago. And had a blast, but was being led astray to start with.
Oh, yeah.
In the airport, before she even got to the airport, she was lagging behind. I'm just trying to catch you guys up so that,
I was late.
Without all the details, speak about the ones that, were taking you somewhere, whether they knew they were leading you astray or not. You got off track and weren't where you were supposed to be according to the rules. But it worked in your favor because of the angels you met.
Right. That's true. When I got dropped off.
I should have a drum roll or something.
Yeah, you should.
Letting you speak. I'm sorry.
Not if I go back to where I got off the plane
Mhm.
and I was picked up. I was the only one there. My sister told me to follow the crowd to the exit. I'm like, okay, and she picked me up. Well, I got off the plane. I was the last one off, and there was no crowd. There was just a guy in a flatbed or like a golf cart thing to drive you wherever you go. And I thought, well, that's nice of them because of my hip and my knees that they sent somebody to help me take me down to the area that my sister picked me up, the
Well,
baggage
let's
area.
interrupt for 1 second. When people talk about, like she just mentioned, hips and knees, I want to interject that
Yeah.
we're expecting a masterful healing. She did have earthly people work on her. God works through people, but I want to assure you that if you don't have the money, the time, the resources, the person, the car, the place, the ticket to get you somewhere, to get the help you think you need from a particular individual, you need to know that you can have a total healing. I'm not telling you have to skip the steps. If you don't believe in that, then go about your business doing what you do believe, but have full faith in what you're doing. No doubt. Doubt comes from the other team. Doubt of any kind comes from the other team. So now that she's been away for 7 years and she's had some magic happen through people, and so she's getting to work this bionics she's got. And so that
I
being
wish I
said,
was
go
like
ahead.
that.
So thank you for letting me interject
No,
there.
that's fine.
Go ahead.
So he took me to. He said I needed to go. I told him I needed to go to the baggage area. This gentleman that was driving, and he said, you go to level 3, gate 2, level 3, exit 2.
You were doing hand signals.
Yeah. Well, we ended up doing that because I couldn't understand what he was saying. I kept having to repeat
Heavy
it.
accent.
Very, very heavy accent. I couldn't recognize it, but it doesn't matter. So I was like, he's like, level 3, exit 2, door 2. That's what he said. Level 3, door 2, like a Price is Right thing, I'm like, okay. So it's level 3, door 2. So he drops me off, and I have to go up the stairs with my little tote 'cause I didn't take no luggage. I'm to
You
carry
didn't take
on.
any luggage.
I didn't no luggage. Took
Any luggage, not no luggage.
any luggage.
We're ramping up. There's the friendship. My mother is echoing in my head,
Yes,
like a
your mother.
screeching, like
Your mother.
she was so well trained. She been fixed in me that like the screeching on a blackboard when someone doesn't speak correctly. But I don't mind if it's slang. But that we're not. We're just,
Ah,
there's a screen
okay.
in between.
It's a good thing.
I love you. We're gonna get little signs, a little stop sign, and a little. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I climbed the stairs with my tote, and I'm looking around. And all the doors are taped off. Do not cross. Caution tape,
Right.
like yellow tape. And I'm looking. There's no
Like
one
a
up
murder
there.
scene.
It was terrifying. I'm like looking around, and it's huge. It's giant. So I'm looking every day. I'm like,
We're talking hallways and everything.
No,
just-
I'm talking just huge space,
Mhm.
and all the doors, that revolving doors,
Mhm.
big huge revolving doors, all big spaced out, all had caution tape across them. So I'm like, how? And it said door 2, and the
Right.
next one said door 2. I'm like, well, there's 3 door 2s.
tutus.
And I like started walking, but it was so far, and I could see the caution tape. So I started walking back, and I'm thinking, where am I? And all of a sudden, I see an officer off in the distance, and I'm
How far in a distance?
probably
20
to where the car is.
200 feet, 300 yards.
yeah,
Let's give these people a
200
image.
feet,
Okay.
enough to where he heard me when I said hello, sir.
Because it was going, hello, hello, hello.
No. I said, hello, can you help me? So I'm trying to
Help!
find door 2, and he's like, what are you doing up here? This is a restricted area. And I'm like, well, this is where I got dropped off. And he said, you shouldn't be up here. This is restricted. Now he's walking at me.
So you're telling me the guy with the accent
Dropped me off.
in a restricted area,
Yeah, he took me
he
down.
personally delivered you. You didn't walk there.
No, hell no. Heck
Oh,
no.
oh,
Heck
oh,
no.
oh, oh.
Heck no.
I heard what you were going to say.
It was too far. I didn't
Right.
even. We were on the cart for a while.
Mhm.
I didn't know. No, there's no way. No way I could walk there.
So the interjection here is that she was dropped off in the wrong place by another person. Whether he was working for the other team, the losing team, or not, we
Right.
don't know. Sometimes angels, people, there's I've always said that angels work through people, and so it turns out there's a biblical sentence or scripture that says to entertain the likes of strangers.
Oh,
You never
okay.
know if you're talking to an angel.
That's true.
So
Very
all these
true.
people that don't talk to one another, we went through some of that. So the
Yeah.
thing is the person with the accent that delivered you to the, to the
So
restricted
I
area.
had to climb to level 3. So I got pulled up and there's level 3. No, I had to go up the stairs to get to the restricted
with
area
your bionic
with my
hips and knees.
knees. Yes.
So the thing is so keep in mind that sometimes you're being
Mhm.
delivered to where you need to be to meet someone else
Exactly.
to deliver the information that that person needs, or you need to obtain, or not to get on the plane on time because there's something else on there that you
Right.
shouldn't be experiencing. I mean, God is good.
Very
And if
good.
you see this as an adventure, each little move instead of getting
Frustrated.
frustrated, there's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was meant to meet.
Breathe.
I was meant to meet Officer Eric
I
and
tell you,
his
I'm
partner.
like a whirling dervish. It's like, what the
And
Batman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he didn't introduce himself. He was like all walking at me, and then his
At you.
yeah, he was walking at me and
Right.
looking at me and asking me questions, and I'm talking and like, why was I up there? It was restricted, blah blah blah, and then his partner I didn't see. All of a sudden, when he heard him talking to me, like, who are you and why are you up here? He appeared from out of nowhere. So I got two police officers walking towards me, and they're full gear. They're ready. I don't know if they're
Gear like
like,
batons and
yeah,
face masks and helmets.
they didn't have that, but I mean,
What kind of
I
gear are we
really,
talking about?
well,
Like a
they didn't.
uniform and a badge?
Oh, it
or-
is a uniform and a badge and all that. I
Right.
got a picture with them.
But gear, gear,
Gear. I mean, they had their armor on.
armor? Like,
Just their uniform. Just their uniform.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not describing it
well,
correctly,
no,
but
because I'm thinking, they've got
no, they don't
water
have
guns and tasers and
no. He's just got his policeman uniform on, but he is prepared for who am I?
right.
He had that look. Who is this lady? And
Just hobbling
could
along.
hopping along with a tote. Could be a terrorist. They don't know. He doesn't know me. I don't know him.
Snort, this blue-eyed, blonde-haired
Well, that's
gorgeous
before I got my hair done.
creature.
That's before my hair was
Yeah,
done.
we don't need to tell them that.
No, anyway.
You look hot now, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
So I explained to him that I was dropped off there, and he's like, "Really, you were dropped off?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he takes me, and puts me in. He walks me to the elevator, and he says, "I'll take you down to the level." And I explained to him that my sister flew me in,
Mhm.
and she was.
Flew you in. Oh, you were already in where you went.
I was already at where I was supposed to be,
This-
but I wasn't on the level I was supposed to be on for her to
Right.
pick me up.
right, gotcha.
And he said to call my sister and tell her to pick me up at level 2 instead of taking me down to level 1, where it would be hectic and there would be a lot of traffic and a lot of people.
Mhm.
He took me to where they get their car and get dropped off at.
Oh, you mean the police do?
The police do. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
said this is the exit we use. This is where we get
Look at
dropped
you.
off. Yeah, so I'm on level 2. Woohoo! and bless their heart, Eric. I don't know the other gentleman's name, but Officer Eric, stayed with me until my sister picked me up.
Aw.
She had.
He's just
like,
making sure. Did he check your tote?
no,
He
no,
didn't look in there?
no. He didn't ask to see any identification. We just talked, and I answered his question. He's
Well,
we're talking.
when you told me the first rendition of this story, you were sharing with me how appreciative you were
I
of
was
him
so much.
because
so.
the people in authority are having a day
They
with
are.
regular humans.
And I really appreciate him staying with me. It meant the world to me, and I thanked him so much for that. I said, and then he stayed, and him and his partner just talked, and
You have pictures, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and they were just chit chatting and waiting because my sister has to go around the racetrack again. Is what he
Was
said.
he single?
I didn't ask.
I mean, you
that.
are hot. You know what I mean?
No, I
Sometimes
didn't.
there you are, just a good-looking woman sitting on level 3.
No, I wasn't sitting. I
Was you know what I mean?
standing,
You were-
yeah,
you were-
right.
you were there.
No,
So the interesting thing is, so that people do come into our lives for a reason, and
Right.
sometimes we don't know exactly why.
Mm.
And messages come. I'm going to interject a little bit of training here that maybe a lot know and maybe they don't. But I start my day generally every day with asking God, how's my day going to go? This morning, I heard him say terrifying, and I thought, no, you told me that we can change this around, and I don't want it terrifying. And I will share with you the day is not over, but we came into the podcast room here, and Joe, the instructor who taught me what I should have learned last year, and didn't remember, is there's a sneeze of approval. By the way, just so you know, here's a second piece of training. A sneeze is a sign of approval or meaning, yes,
Really?
accurate,
Oh my
correct.
gosh, I couldn't fight that one off. Okay.
I know I told you this, but so that's a little
Oh.
piece interjecting. I have to do that as it comes. And I'm going to also say, listen very closely here, that when your animal sneezes, you need to know that they're saying yes to whatever you've just said. Most people, it's either an owl out sneeze or a little, sniffing out motion that I say is a sneeze. Oftentimes you're offering a treat, and they'll spin circles and sneeze, 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 yes, 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 they're saying. So I want to interject here also that if you are out and about and there is a conversation going on that you're having or you're listening to someone else having, and someone sneezes, even if they're in the aisle over, even if they're not in your group, that is an energy saying, yes, what they're saying is true. So if someone is saying, you need to watch out for so and someone sneezes, you're like, oh,
Oh,
that's an accurate piece of information.
that's good to know.
If someone is saying, this is a lottery number for tonight, and somebody sneezes, you're like, oh, I hope I remember it accurately.
Right.
If they're saying that, you shouldn't do such and such, at least pay attention if someone sneezes, that there's a reason to pay a little closer look to what you're about to do. But it has to be the conversation you're having, one on one or, right around you. And everybody's experienced it. What I'm saying is this is a piece of information that is not written in any book. The good news is it's documented here and a couple of other areas. It's one of the reasons people have been recruiting me is because I know things that most people don't.
Right.
So body language in a way that most people have no clue. And it's exciting. So that being said, you just sneezed, indicating that when I was saying Joe, was teaching me something and going over what I certainly didn't remember from last year. That was an accurate statement. And it is terrifying. I mean, I feel like I'm on a launch pad for a rocket. I'm so blessed that we're in here. It's brand new. I'm excited. And I will say this too, that every year I pick at least two things, if not three or four things that I have never done before that I attempt to do, or at least whether I want to continue doing it or not, just to stretch the brain a little bit and get diversity, and then maybe meeting some new people and find out why we're mixing it up a bit.
Exactly. That's
You
a good
know.
idea.
So what you traveling? You haven't traveled in a long
Oh
time.
no.
That can be nerve
It
wracking.
was terrifying. To use your word.
Right. Well, all the caution tape, or you're delivered on a landing pad. You don't know where you
I
are.
was trying to think. This is only the second time I've flown by myself
In your life.
in my life,
Wow, big girl.
and so it was. And this time I was all by myself. The other time I was through work, so I just had to get to the airport. And
Oh yeah,
then
let's
work-
go over that a
work-
minute. Guess where the polar bear went?
Oh, where?
Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Oh yeah, and to dress all up and be at a car show and just do modeling
I
those
didn't-
cars.
no, there was
Yeah,
no
you
dress
did.
up,
Oh,
no.
you had a hot gown. You told me.
But I never wore it.
Oh,
no,
what?
no, they had a shirt. They
A
just
shirt?
Had a shirt. That
You
had
didn't get
the-
to wear that gown?
No,
Like
I
Vanna
never,
White or
no,
anything? Oh,
no,
that's sad.
no,
Well,
no. They
all right.
wanted me to go out to the restaurants and stuff. They asked me, people I was traveling with, and other
Mhm.
people that were there, because we flew in from all over the place.
Right.
So
But you were selected to do it.
right
No
from
one
my
else.
plant,
Right.
yeah, me and another lady were. There's two of us
Mhm.
representing our plant. But anyways, no, they gave us a shirt.
This wasn't a
to
rubber
wear.
tree plant, right?
No.
What kind of plant was it?
It's a truck plant.
Right, right.
Building the trucks.
Should build in America.
That's right.
Vehicles to drive with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that being said, there are teams down here, and I want to go into mentioning again about New Ark Ministries. It is a ministry for animals and people alike. I'm able to provide for a lot of people that are in need to supply food for their animals so that they don't have to give them up. A lot of people don't get company, especially during COVID, and their animals, give them a reason to wake up in the morning, give them unconditional love. Maybe their families aren't treating them well, even in the best of times. Families don't visit each other like in the so-called olden days, long before I was born, So I'm able to provide food so that they don't have to give them up, to abandon them, put them to death. I mean, no one should be losing their house and their loved one for lack of food, for gosh sakes. So and that goes into a post that I put up on the New Ark Ministries. I am going to read it because it fits in.
Right.
One of the things that the polar bear does with her family, she told me,
Yes,
she told
yes,
me they do jigsaw puzzles,
yes.
and there's so many pieces to the puzzle.
Well, there's
And
we.
I've never done it, but I have lived it. And so I put a post up, and I was just telling the polar bear about it, and she asked for a copy of it, and I thought, well, maybe I should just read it here, and that's what I would like to do right now. So hopefully I can read it as well as people say I have written it. So this is really about missing pieces.
Yes.
That there is a bigger picture here, and it starts off with saying, "Sad to hear, another piece went missing. Prayers for all who think of leaving via suicide, and prayers for those of us who stay and live without them. Earth, each moment is different, each day with its puzzles, each of us a piece of the puzzle. If one of us is lost or feeling misplaced, the picture is never the same." Whew, I can't believe it got me. The rest will always wonder. The big picture is incomplete if even one piece is lost, missing, or damaged. If you cannot find the place where you belong, where you fit in, whew, allow the one who designed the picture to move you, to place you where you will feel comfortable, purposeful, useful, accepted, appreciated, loved, where you are a perfect fit. Let him move you. It is okay to ask questions, to seek, keeping in mind, always knowing there is a spot for you. Some of us are campers, others are climbers in life, and both are okay. Allow yourself to know that you belong, that there is a place for you. Pieces, perhaps you or someone you know, can get carried away by negative thoughts or by others who attempt to push you or force you into fit in the wrong spot. Know your worth. For goodness sakes, God made you. The greater design, the bigger picture. Each person is a piece of the puzzle. Each will have its turn to complete their part of the bigger picture, but you have to stick around to see it, to witness it, to feel it. Sure, you can leave. God gave us that choice. He presents before us life and death, he says, and recommends life. That's in writing, that he recommends life of those two choices. But I'm suggesting that you not take yourself out of the picture. Each piece is unique and different from the next. How cool is that? You can be different and absolutely fit in. In fact, that's the plan. Acceptance of that which is different, whether it's your family, friend, or neighbor, will smooth the weight of your turn. The point is, it's okay to be you. Treasure that fact. In truth, each of us can say to ourselves, it's not right without us. That's not ego. That's truth. And lastly, I learned this from my mama.
Hmm.
The word is illegitimate non-carborundum. Translated means, I'll say it nicely, don't let the turkeys get you down.
Mhm.
And in ending this post and this particular segment, I want to say, for the kindness you share, the love that you give, and all that you do that is good, may God bless you more. And that's one of the posts on New Ark Ministries for Animals. You can find it on Facebook. If you want to contact us and get an actual response, you can send a message to New Ark Ministries Facebook page. I'm going to remind people that we have a prayer line set up,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
that's a place I'm going to give you the number. It'll identify that it's the polar bear and the snow horse, or snow horse and the polar bear, because we're equals here. I just have the training listen to me, to do this this end of things on the board. And by the way, you guys can do it too. The Lake Orion Neighborhood TV is where you can come and take the classes. But back to the mentioning for the prayer line. If you're feeling like you need some help, we would like to offer that and say a prayer for you. The only one that can guarantee anything is God. I happen to know God very well, and I'm willing to say a prayer for you. You do not have to call the prayer line. You can go to God yourself. He listens to everyone, everyone. The difference is I know it, and there are those that don't. And so that number to call, if you wish, is 810 724 3223. You would call and make sure you've got the right number. Listen to the prompt that says you'd only have to leave your first name and what your desire is, what you're wanting, whether it's a healing or an object or something in your life to change. Try to pay close attention to your own life and what you're doing, what you asked for, and do you already have it? That's going to lead into the next podcast. We're going to wind this down now.
Okay.
I want to, have the polar bear mention a little bit about her family and the jigsaw puzzle, which is, it led into me remembering the post on the Facebook page. So let's let on a lighter note
Yes.
and go with that for a moment.
Well, my sister and I, during this COVID, she offered me to come over and stay. So we play cards and do puzzles. I stayed at her house. And we did 11 puzzles in 80 days. And one puzzle, just one puzzle, it had 2,000 pieces. And it was one that my brother had sent us in the mail. We were so surprised to get it because we had run out of the ones we had bought and had sitting around. And so when we needed to start a new puzzle, here one showed up at the door. And it had 2,000 pieces. And we did the puzzle in with 2 days. We're just obsessed with doing this puzzle. And it was very intricate, small painting. It's actually a real painting that hangs in Italy. For sure.
Anywhere in Italy?
I can't remember. I
The
can't
Louvre?
even. No.
That's not in.
No,
Italy,
that's
is
not.
it?
I think it was Spain. It doesn't matter. But it's it's a puzzle of an actual painting.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's called the Garden of Delights or something like. And it looked like, to me, the interpretation was Adam and Eve was like one part, and then the middle was delight, and then the other part, the end part, was hell.
Oh, my.
That's the way it looked like. It was 3 sections. And there was one weird circle thing with people doing weird things, and that was the place. I was working on that, and we finished the whole puzzle, me and my sister, 2 days, and we were missing one piece.
Oh.
And we got down on the floor because her carpet, the piece flips upside down, kind of matches into the carpet because we've dropped pieces before, and we found them. We've always found all the pieces, and we could not find that piece anywhere. And we searched for 2 days looking for that piece. And
So you think it came with a missing piece?
it had to have, because it was sealed. It was hermetically sealed. Is that how you say it?
It's a good big word. I like it.
Oh. I got that out right.
Shrink wrap.
I
There's
were
my-
literally down on the floor, just didn't move, didn't vacuum. We were just feeling around because we knew for sure we'd find this piece, and we never did find it.
That's one
And
of
we
the times
finally
you
put
didn't
it
think
out.
to call to it either, did you?
No, I didn't
See.
think about
Okay,
that.
this
before
is
I
just
talked
a
to you.
reminder, a little teaching moment again.
Right.
And Polar Bear already knows this. And we talked about the man we refer to as Larry Earring and
Yes.
helping him. I mean, Polar Bear is the one that found it, used the technique, called to the earring, found it in the parking lot, a huge Kroger parking lot. And so that's why I asked her if she called to it, is that you can call to what is yours that is either lost, missing, or wandered off. If it's your mate and you are bound in marriage with a contract, you can call this person back and say, we have a contract, and I'm calling you home. Whether you talk to them or not, you talk to the spirit of the person. But there has to be a binding contract that you guys out there have agreed to in some way. And so the earring that belonged to Larry, Karen spoke to it. It literally spoke to her. She remind them of what the earring said to you.
It said it bounced and it rolled.
Right.
And
and then you found it in
Found
short order.
right.
Because I was saying, show yourself to the polar bear and myself, that you belong to Larry, and Larry's looking for you. Larry wants you.
Yeah.
And we're talking a diamond earring. He
Yeah,
was
he was
pleased. So the same thing could
right.
have been true for the polar bear and her sister, while they were doing this piece and missing that piece. The cool part is you can still call to it and see if that little piece doesn't show back up.
That would be something after
That'd
all
be
this
some.
time.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh, that would really be something to find that piece after all this time.
Oh no, it's exciting how that works. Okay, so we're talking about missing pieces. We don't want anyone to go missing.
No.
That there's room for you, a spot for you. Your day will come. If you've chosen to do something with your life or asked for something, at least try to pay attention if you've got a version of it before you wonder why it hasn't happened. If I put in writing everything that I get to see and do and have, it is absolutely a version of what I asked for. I mean, everything. I did picture it a little cleaner, a little well organized. I didn't, I just spoke with a polar
Amen to
bear.
that. Amen to that.
Polar bear is that, when stuff speaks to you, because I referred to this on another podcast, is that when you're hearing voices and you're feeling like, oh, I should have this, I should take this home, or whatever it is, a person, place, or thing. I don't bring people home, but I do bring animals and stuff. And I realized through an item that was man-made and calling to me that I did not need. And when I got it home, I thought, oh my gosh, this has got to be what's happening with hoarders, that they have this voice saying, calling to them to take these things home. And so I was sharing with the polar bear that, that what's going on in my house now.
Yeah.
For a number of, people that were working for the other team coming at me. But sometimes it's like that image you see of unfortunate image of people digging through trash for something to sell or something to have or whatever. And I'm just saying, some days it feels like that when thank God I can speak to items and they show up in my house. So I'm going to wind this down again. Please take the opportunity, if you wish, to call the prayer line again. You will be reaching the prayer line for Snow Horse and the Polar Bear. You'll only leave your first name and what your desire, wish, or concern is. And we will absolutely pray for that and expect for it to deliver. Keep in mind, if you have a problem with what we're saying and you want to come against us, that God himself has said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Amen.
God is good.
God is great.
Thank you so much for listening.